it's a tragedy that those families won't bring in the new year or the holidays with their kids.
The West Jefferson High School community mourns 2 teenagers killed in last night's tragic car crash on St. Bernard Avenue. Now we've learned the identity of one of those victims and her sister, who was hurt. Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Meg Gatto. Jefferson Parish deputies say a shoplifting suspect slammed into the victim's car after deputies called off a chase on I-10.
David Jones joins us with details.
They tell me Giselle Smith was on the cusp of graduating high school until a suspected shoplifter took her life last night. They say her older sister, Paris, was severely injured in the crash, suffering a brain bleed. They say Paris was able to squeeze their hands today in the hospital. Giselle Smith's family shares with us these photos. The 17-year-old on the left, her older sister, 21-year-old Paris Kuiper, on the right. Paris was in the car with Giselle. She's now in critical condition. Her younger sister, Giselle, passed away. Paris, an EMT, is spending her birthday, December 12th, in a hospital bed. As the family mourns Giselle, one of 11 siblings, they released a statement that said in part, quote, Giselle's personality was a unique blend of humor, athleticism, and goofiness, with interests in dance, basketball, TikTok creation, and band participation, emulating her mother Zena's legacy, who passed away on July 8th due to colon cancer. Giselle and Paris were in a car with a 17-year-old friend of Giselle's, who was also killed. Both girls killed were students at West Jefferson High School, the school community reeling.
It's just hard that the school has to take this major loss, and the kids also has to take a loss on student, fellow students, family that also may have go here as well. So it's a trauma.
The 3 were the victims in a horrific car crash taking place at the St. Bernard Avenue I-610 interchange. It happened around 7:39 Wednesday night when police say a red Mercedes driven by 30-year-old Janika Smooth sped down the off-ramp and didn't make the turn, crossing 2 lanes of traffic, jumping a median, and colliding with the Toyota Camry the 3 girls were driving in. Smooth and her 2 female passengers fled Jefferson Parish deputies just minutes before. Deputies pursued them after a call of shoplifting at Lakeside Mall, but the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office say the chase lasted less than a minute before they called it off. And they say Smooth continued driving erratically when she got off at the exit. Deputies say they did not witness the crash because they had canceled the pursuit. The sheriff's office says the 3 women fled the scene of the crash when deputies arrived shortly after it happened. They say they detained one on scene, who New Orleans police later booked for shoplifting, while another, Smooth, turned herself in to NOPD on Thursday. Investigators say she was the driver, and they're still looking for the 3rd suspect. Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Responti says even though the police pursuit had clearly ended, it still could have factored into Smooth's erratic driving.
What do you give a police chase to? I'm sure the parents of the young people that died in this do not think it was worth the chase, but this is the balancing act that police forces have to deal with when deciding whether or not to give chase to criminals.
Jefferson Parish court records show Smooth has pleaded guilty to theft charges before in 2017, 2018, and in 2023. Giselle's family says they're thankful for everyone who has reached out, and they asked to continue to keep them in your prayers. John.
The NOPD says a woman wanted for leaving the scene of an accident that killed 2 17-year-old girls is now in custody. Janika Smooth faces several charges, including 2 counts of manslaughter. Good evening, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Meg Gatto. Officers say Janika Smooth hit a car with 3 teenagers inside. The 3rd victim is listed able condition.
Both 17-year-olds who died went to West Jefferson School, where Ashland Brothers joins us live.
John and Meg, I spoke with a high school senior outside of West Jefferson High School who tells me he knew one of those 17-year-old girls dating back to the 5th grade. He describes her as chill, always laughing, and Very, very friendly. He says that she was in the band and loved it. Now, students say both teenage girls, one who died last night, another today, were very involved in school. Before the deadly crash at St. Bernard Avenue, Jefferson deputies say they saw Smooth and two other suspects shoplifting at Lakeside Mall. These say they spotted a vehicle at the Orleans Jefferson Parish line and say they pursued for less than 1 minute. The sheriff says the deputies saw the crash as they made their way down I-610, and they tell us that 3 suspects got out of their crashed vehicle and ran away, but police have since arrested 2 suspects, including the driver, Janika Smooth. Now, the other suspect has not been identified, and 1 suspect is on the run. Now, students say school was somber today, and their hearts are heavy. Parents telling me they can't fathom this loss.
She always smiled. Even if stuff was bad, like she still always smiled at stuff. I had one of my teachers crying. I seen like 5 people crying, and it was just, I don't know, it was crazy.
Going into the holidays, and it's a tragedy that those families won't bring in the new year with their kids. Me being a parent, it will crush me.
And in a statement sent to us by the Jefferson Parish School District, Jefferson Parish Schools said in part, "We are heartbroken and our thoughts and deepest sympathies go out to everyone impacted during this incredibly difficult time." They went on to say, in times of tragedy, it is vital that we come together as a community to support one another. West Jefferson is offering counseling services to its students and plans on holding a ceremony in their honor tomorrow morning. Reporting live outside of West Jefferson High School in Jefferson Parish, Ashland Brothers, Fox 8, Local First.
Court documents do show the driver of the car, Janika Smith, has a history of shoplifting.
Yeah, Eleanor Tabone has been going through the documents that she obtained on the suspect, and she joins us now in the studio with the details on Smooth.
That is correct. I went back through court documents, and Janika Smooth has a lengthy history of theft in Jefferson Parish. Court documents show that she has been slapped with theft charges since 2012. In 2017, she was charged with theft but given probation. But court documents show that probation was revoked and she was sentenced to a year because she was convicted in Wynn Parish for bringing narcotics into the parish jail there. More recently, in 2023, she was charged again with theft. Court documents show she pled guilty and the judge sentenced her to 2 years probation. Katie and Charisse, that means Janika Smooth was very likely on probation when she allegedly caught stealing yesterday at Lakeside Mall. When I looked through court document filings, it showed that she had theft charges from stealing from businesses like Sephora, Ulta, Macy's and Party City.
All right, Eleanor, thank you. And as we've reported, there have been several new developments in this case in just the past few hours. We'll continue to follow the story and report on any new information on air, online, and on the WWL app.
He says that a New Orleans woman went on a multi-parish crime spree before she crashed into and killed 2 17-year-olds last Wednesday. Chris Joseph reports Janika Smooth now has a new theft charge in her long criminal history.
The New Orleans Police Department says a crime spree, which ended in tragedy on St. Bernard Avenue, began with a shoplifting at Saks Fifth Avenue on Canal Street. Court documents allege Janika Smooth entered the store around 1 p.m. last Wednesday. Saks Fifth Avenue showed us security cam footage of the alleged incident. What it shows is 2 women walking up to a glass display case, one of which is wearing a hat and a coat. While the other woman stands by, the woman in the coat grabs a number of items out of the case, puts it underneath her coat, and then they walk away. The department says Smooth stole $3,200 worth of Gucci scarves. The identity of the other woman is unclear. Investigators say Smooth wasn't finished. Fast forward to about 7:30 that night. The department says Smooth was involved in an alleged shoplifting incident at the Lakeside shopping mall. A sheriff's deputy spotted her, and the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office says deputies briefly chased her in their vehicles before backing off. At St. Bernard Avenue, police say she crashed into a car, killing 17-year-olds Giselle Smith and Samaj Morris. Smith's 21-year-old sister, Paris Kuiper, was also injured.
It's a tragedy that those families won't bring in the new year or the holidays with their kids. Me being a parent, it would crush me.
Court records show Smooth has a criminal history. She's been sentenced for 3 felonies and 7 misdemeanors dating back to 2014. The charges are mostly thefts, but in 2018, she was sentenced for bringing contraband into a prison.
The law treats repeat offenders more severely than first-time offenders, and based on what you're sharing with me, she appears to be a multiple offender, which means that she's facing potentially significantly more penitentiary time if she's convicted of any of these felony charges.
Smooth is still on probation from a past theft charge. Now, the Orleans Magistrate Court gave Smooth a combined bond of $570,000 for the crime spree that day.
Well, right now, heartache and healing unfolding for 2 families and their West Jefferson Heights community as 2 seniors are killed in a tragic crash involving a shoplifting suspect and another woman falling for her life.
And we're also getting more details now about the first woman arrested after that Wednesday night crash as Jefferson Parish deputies were chasing the alleged thieves from Lakeside Mall until they got into Orleans Parish.
Now, we've got team coverage including what happened in court today with one of those suspects making an appearance, and we're also learning about the other behind bars.
Meanwhile, this is a look at the new arrest photo for the woman who turned herself in to police in connection to this crash.
Yeah, investigators believe that Janika Smooth here was behind the wheel of the vehicle that killed the 2 girls and that she was part of a group of shoplifters wanted in Jefferson Parish. WDSU investigative reporter Cassie Sherm is live for us as Smooth just had her first court appearance, as well as what we're learning about the other suspect. Cassie.
That's right, guys. So I just walked out of the courtroom here at criminal court, and what we know so far is Smooth is now going to be held on bond for more than $610,000. Now take a look at the screen here. These are the charges that she's facing. She's facing 2 counts of manslaughter, 1 count of negligent injury, a hit and run, and flight from an officer. Now, Smooth has a history of theft in Jefferson Parish with a criminal record dating back to 10 years. She has served 3 prison sentences for theft, according to online court records. Smooth was also convicted of theft in 2014 and in 2015, but details regarding those thefts are not available right now. Now, the second suspect, identified as 37-year-old Lisa Herring, she was booked on shoplifting charges. Now, Herring has a criminal history of prostitution, according to court records. Now, investigators say there was a full car of people. Those are just 2 people out of that group. They are saying that they're investigating right now and will continue to follow up. Reporting here at Criminal Court, I'm Cassie Sherm. Back to you.
And as you can imagine, the families of these girls are having a really tough time coping with this sudden loss, both of them being remembered as outstanding young women.
WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor continues our team coverage, speaking with the families of both of those girls, joining us now with how they're being remembered and really, Shay, their new questions for police.
That's absolutely correct, Randy. Yeah, the 2 families of the girls, they were very shaken up when I spoke with them today. They tell me this is a lot to take in at this time. We now know the names of the 2 girls who were killed during that accident Wednesday, that 17-year-old Giselle Smith and her good friend 17-year-old Samaj Morris. Now, Giselle's older sister, Paris Kuiper, we're told was the driver of that vehicle. She's in critical condition, but the family tells me that she's showing progress, which is a good thing. Now, Samaj Morris's family tell me that the girls were actually in that area of the accident initially to take Morris to pick up a school project that they had left inside of a family member's car. They were leaving from the area, headed home to the West Bank, when they were hit by the vehicle carrying the shoplifting suspects who were first spotted here near this Lakeside Mall. Janika Smooth turned herself in yesterday. We're now finding out the name of the other suspect, or one of the other suspects, as Cassie just mentioned, Lisa Herring. She was arrested on scene Wednesday night. Now, family members tell me they question why a chase even ensued given the crime. I actually spoke with an expert who weighs in on the situation.
If you think again, within under a minute, the chase was canceled. So it takes, that officer to determine, is it just shoplifting? Is it something else going on? They call that into their rank. The rank then makes that decision within under a minute to call it off. 6 minutes later is when the accident actually happened.
And I did reach out to JPSO on this situation, concerns from the families. And at this time, they tell me no comment, but I am told that the entire situation is under investigation. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Reporting live from Jefferson Parish, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
For the latest updates in this deadly hit and